The IAB Diligence platform, obviously the MSPA is state specific in the US, but the Diligence platform and expanded that into Europe. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in
So,
Europe and how this set of ideas or controls that companies need to take, how that applies to the European market?
it's funny because it went backwards, right? Um, Europe is farther ahead in enforcement. And in the German market, there's, I think, 14 DPAs. The publishers have been hit hard and they wanted something like this. And they saw the IAB US did this. What are the hallmarks of what we did? One, every advertiser should not be writing their own assessment to the laws. There's no reason for it. The law is what the law is. They were also making a mistake and they were asking a DSP questions that should have been a publisher questions or publisher DSP. So we cleaned all that up. There is one assessment to the laws. It's living and breathing. It's every new state. We've got a highest bar. Makes it very easy. The data flow questions are brilliant. I mean, it's the what the IAB did. You can't give them enough credit for getting all these companies together. It was written by the industry. Here's all the data flow questions. The third leg of the stool is, we're not in a public shaming. This is not a public. My entire platform is totally secure and private. No PI in it, but you as a vendor have a choice. Oh, am I doing business with that agency, ad tech company, brand, and I choose to share with you. So it's a two-sided problem, and it works. And people that are getting on the platform are saving 30 to 40% of your time on doing this due diligence. We've had major companies put us in their procurement. You're saving 25% of your time on your contract writing with your counterparty because you do the assessment before you do the contract. The in a world where the economy is so, whatever you want to call it, the stock market's here, but the economy is here. If I'm a CFO, I'm like, oh my God, look at the efficiencies of these products. Standardization, time savings, letting the privacy lawyer do the things they need to do instead of the day-to-day stuff. And you got to give the BVDW, IAB Germany credit. They came to us last fall and said, this is brilliant. Let's bring it here. So what the IAB did was this is now, it's easier. It's one law instead of 24 state laws. We actually hired a leading law firm. We rewrote GDPR as its own thing, which we've always had. We updated that. And then we changed the data flows because the obligations are different over there than they are here.
Right.
So we now have a pan-European product. We just launched it last week. It goes live on July 1st. And the German marketplace is getting behind this. And a lot of big global guys are because we already have 3 of the 4 holding companies here. They're going to roll over there. We've got massive tech companies that are based in Europe that are like, this is great. We've been waiting for this. And they understand as a highly regulated market, they love the fact that it's standardized because what does a regulator want to see at the end of the day? And I'm lucky. I get to go with Michael Hahn, the GC of the IAB, to all these regulators and demonstrate the software. I hear it time and time again. I want to make sure that my law is respected. I want to make sure that you're taking me seriously and that you're showing good intent. What is good intent? Hiring a Vault.js to check my pixels every month, doing an industry standard assessment, doing it on an annual basis, keeping it up to date, making sure your stuff is configured. At the end of the day, regulators aren't in this just in gotcha. If you're doing the right thing, am I going to say you're not going to get fined? Look, the difference between, me driving a car at 1 a.m. down the road like a maniac with a kid in the back or a dog in the back or a wife in the back going to the hospital, they're going to say slow down versus the difference in you and I coming out of the Thayer Hotel at West Point at 1 in the morning driving like a maniac, we're going to be in jail. And, intent is a very different thing, Josh.